The Atlanta Hawks general manager Travis Slyke hit a home run with last year's draft class, and it looks like he'll make it 2 in a row with another good draft class. The Hawks made a lot of moves on draft night and took on several expiring contracts like Allen Crabbe and Solomon Hill, and they also added a lot of future second-round picks. But at the end of the day, they ended up with 3 talented draft picks. First off, they traded up in the draft to the 4th pick. With that 4th pick, the Hawks took one of the most NBA-ready prospects in DeAndre Hunter. He is highly regarded as the best defensive wing in the draft class. The Hawks gave up 119 points per game last season, the worst in the NBA. DeAndre was the perfect prospect to target for the Atlanta Hawks. He's not going to wow you with crazy athleticism and slick handles. What he can do is hit open three-pointers and lock down on defense. But he has shown he can be more versatile on offense with driving to the basket and shoot fadeaways from the mid-post area. He easily slides in at the small forward spot, but he also can play at the power forward and center position because of his length, strength, and quickness on defense. With the 10th pick, the Hawks picked up another wing player in Cam Reddish. Everybody knows the talent Reddish has. He just has to bring consistent effort every night. He showed many flashes of all-star talent in his freshman year at Duke. But for the most part, you forgot he was even on the court most of the time. With DeAndre Hunter getting drafted at 4, there will be less pressure on Cam Reddish to produce immediately in his NBA career. Reddish will have plenty of time to adjust to the pace and speed of the NBA. He has all the talent in the world and will be given every opportunity to turn into an impact player. The Hawks also traded back in the 2nd round and landed Maryland big man Bruno Fernando with the 34th pick. Fernando will be reunited with his former teammate at Maryland and Kevin Huerter. Fernando is another defensive player that should help improve their overall defense. He put up 22 double-doubles in his sophomore year. He brings a physical presence in the lane and can be the rim protector you need. He's not much of an offensive player at this point, but he has been working on a little jump hook in his low post game. He also has improved his jump shot over the years. Bruno became a great leader at Maryland, and he brings passion and energy that can be contagious in the locker room. My NBA draft grade for the Atlanta Hawks is an A. The Washington Wizards drafted the kid from Japan, Rui Hachimura. Some would say it was a surprising selection, but it might be the player they need. With all the injuries and front office issues with the team, this organization needs some good fortune to happen. Hachimura has shown the hard work he's put in by literally improving every season since stepping on the campus of Gonzaga. He had a great junior season where he won West Coast Conference Player of the Year while averaging nearly 20 points a game. His mid-range game is one of his strengths. Slowly but surely he perfected that area of his game. He's a great athlete who can get up and down the floor quickly, which leads to a lot of transition points. He needs to prove he can stretch his range out to the three-point line because he only shot a limited amount in his career at Gonzaga. But despite his athleticism, he's not the defensive player he needs to be. Rui shows a lack of defensive awareness and frequently loses sight of the ball that leads to easy basket for the opposing team. There are a lot of holes in his game right now, but with his work ethic and dedication, he could develop into an all-star level player. But don't expect it right off the bat. It's going to take some time. With their 2nd round pick, the Wizards chose Tennessee forward Admiral Schofield with the 42nd pick. He is a physical freak. He stands at around 6'6", just over 240 pounds, built more like a defensive end in football. Schofield did a little bit of everything at Tennessee. He can shoot from the outside, attack the rim, and is a good defensive player. He's more of a finished product than Rui is. I could see Schofield having more success early on than Hachimura. Rui is still raw for the most part and is still developing his game. This past season, Hachimura and Schofield went head-to-head, and Schofield won that matchup. With 30 points, with over 50% shooting from the field, to Hachimura's 21 points while shooting under 45%. Both are great pickups for the Wizards, and they feel a need at the 3 and the 4 spot. My NBA draft grade for the Washington Wizards is a B. With speculation of their franchise player going elsewhere in free agency, the Hornets needed to take a gamble in the draft. A player with a high upside with a chance to become an all-star level player. But instead, they made a safe pick and drafted Kentucky forward P.J. Washington. Washington improved a lot in his sophomore year and can be a solid pro, but there were more talented prospects available with a much bigger upside like Nasir Little, Goga Batasi, and Sekou Demboya. Washington is solid in a lot of areas, but he's not spectacular at anything. He improved as a post player and a shooter in his sophomore year. He shot a significantly better percentage from three in his sophomore year compared to his freshman year. With the Hornets more than likely losing their best player in franchise history, the Hornets needed to swing for the fences and take a chance. They passed on Michael Porter Jr. last year, and this year, they passed up on more talented prospects. At the 36th pick, the Hornets selected Cody Martin. He can play the pick and roll well and loves to attack closeouts. He's a good playmaker in the half court and in transition, and he seems to always make the right play. Martin is a good defender as he has the length and lateral quickness to stick with guards on the perimeter. His calling card is his defense. He is not explosive and has a questionable jump shot. With the depth at the wing position, it'll be hard for Martin to get playing time anytime soon. And with the 52nd pick, the Hornets selected San Diego State forward Jalen McDaniels. There's some 3-and-D upside with McDaniels. He improved his three-point shooting from 21% as a freshman to 32% as a sophomore. He has good size, standing 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. He has a soft touch around the rim and has developed a nice floater to his game. But make no mistake about it, McDaniels is a project. He has a better chance to make an impact on the defensive end early on than on offense. My NBA draft grade for the Charlotte Hornets is a C-. The Orlando Magic ended up with just one draft pick this year, and that was the 16th pick. They took a big gamble with that pick as they selected Auburn forward Chuma Okeke, who tore his ACL in the Sweet 16 against North Carolina. If it wasn't for this injury, many scouts wouldn't look at Okeke at 16 as being a reach. He was definitely trending up on draft boards before he got hurt. He has a versatile skill set that fits today's NBA. He can knock down an outside shot, rebound, and can defend both forward spots. His 69 steals was the third most ever by an Auburn player in a single season. He's a low usage player who can easily fit into any offense. With his injury, the Magic can take their time with his development, and it will be a good idea for the Magic to sit Okeke down for the whole season and get ready for the 2020-21 season. I feel like this was a good gamble for the Magic to take. The team improved a lot under first-year head coach Steve Clifford and made the playoffs. I believe they can afford to have a first-round pick sit out the entire year to get healthy. Orlando has a lot of young talent that is just getting started on reaching their potential. The Magic will have a good trio of forwards in Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon, and Okeke. My NBA draft grade for the Orlando Magic is a B+. Last year, offense and three-point shooting were two of the biggest weaknesses for the Miami Heat, and that has been the case for the last couple of years. So with their first pick, they looked to address that by drafting Kentucky sharpshooter Tyler Hero. As the season went along in his freshman season, his confidence grew. Even though he only shot 35% from three-point line, because of his free throw percentage and smooth quick release, he projects as an elite shooter. But he is more than just a shooter. He can put the ball on the ground and attack the basket. He's not an elite creator off the dribble, but he has the skills to be at least solid. He also played more on the ball as the season went along and became a secondary playmaker, which adds to his versatility. He competes hard on defense, but he could struggle a bit on the next level, at least at the beginning. Even though he's 6'6", he has a negative wingspan, which will make it more difficult to get steals and will be less effective contesting shots. But the Miami Heat has a defensive culture with a lot of good defenders. His teammates can help cover up his mistakes for a while, and head coach Eric Spoelstra can coach him up and develop him into at least a solid defender. The Miami Heat traded 3 future second-round picks for a chance to take one of the most underrated prospects in the draft, KZ Okpala. Okpala is incredibly talented and has elite size and length for his position. He averaged around 17 points and 6 rebounds in his sophomore year. Okpala loves to attack the basket and has a nice handle which allows him to become the primary scoring option for Stanford. The thing that sticks out about him is he shot 22% from 3 in his freshman year and improved it to 37% this past season. That shows his commitment and hard work he put in during the offseason. But even with all that improvement on offense, he's still looked at as raw and needs to add muscle to his frame to become a better finisher at the rim. His length and size gives him the tools to be a top-notch defensive player, but he still has to put in the work. The Miami Heat got to play the waiting game with KZ, but if they're patient, he could be an important piece to their future. My NBA draft grade for the Miami Heat is a B+.